As I was driving home from Arizona for Thanksgiving, I decided to turn on the radio and I listened to some Christmas music, and the song came on, "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year." And I thought to myself, it should be the most wonderful time of the year, but by the time I get into the season, I'm usually so stressed out, I just want it to be over with. In fact, there have been some years when I've really hated this time of the year. Well, I don't want to feel that way anymore. I want to be able to enjoy this time of the year just like I did when I was younger. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things that you can keep in mind to help bring back the joy of the season without all of the stress and frustrations. Welcome to Slay ADHD, where we help entrepreneurs recognize the traits that are slowing up your growth in business and may be costing you in time, money, and missed opportunities. We'll be giving you the tools to help you to work around these challenges so that you can develop the skills to finally build the business that you've been dreaming of. Let's get to work. This time of year, we try to do so many extra things. We want to attend all of the parties. We want to decorate. We want to put up a beautiful tree. We might want to decorate our office. We might have cards that we need to get out. There may be some baking to do. There may be parties to plan on attending, outfits to buy, people to remember, gifts to purchase and ship, and standing in line at the post office. The list just can seem endless. And sometimes we forget that these aren't the type of normal things that we do every day. And when we expect them to just fit into our already crazy busy schedule, we can end up being completely frustrated and then throw in some of the ADHD tendencies of perfectionism and the inability to get started on something. We get a little bit frozen. We get distracted. There are things that are going to keep us from moving forward. And then we also have a tendency to get caught into a shame spiral of feeling like there is something wrong with us and we can't do everything that we think everybody else is able to do at this time of the year. But let's be honest, just because you see one of your neighbors who has a beautifully decorated outside of their house, you don't know what else they have going on in their life. Maybe that person doesn't have to go to work full time like you do. Maybe that person, that outside of their house is the thing that's really important to them, and that's the one thing they get done for the year. Maybe they do absolutely everything and we don't know how they do it, or maybe in our minds we think that they're doing everything, but they're really not. But that comparison can really cause us to doubt ourselves, and then we start not showing up for the other people in our lives. Suddenly you find yourself taking on dozens of extra tasks in a life that is already super busy and jam-packed. You don't have the space for the extra things, but you think that you should have that space. Sometimes the month of December comes and goes and you feel like you just didn't get anything done. Despite the evidence to the contrary, we tend to remember the things that didn't get done, or we're just frustrated and we hate it and we're not enjoying the things as we're doing them. Let's decide to make a change this year so that we can love the season and still be productive at work. And the biggest problem that we have is that we think that we should be able to fit everything into a schedule that just doesn't make sense. But the problem is when we start thinking that we should be able to do more than we realistically are able to, we start to get this feeling of guilt and frustration and anger, and pretty soon you're not enjoying the things that you're trying to do anyways. You're doing these things because it's supposed to be a festive time of the year, but that festiveness just turns into depression, frustration, anxiety, and you just don't want to do it. It's no wonder that by January 1st, we all try to push a little reset button and turn ourselves over to New Year's resolutions to all of a sudden do everything perfectly because we fell behind during Christmas time. But then you set yourself up for the fall because you expect to change instantly overnight on January 1st. Let's go ahead and reel all of that back and let's start right fresh from now. And let's choose to do the things that are only most important to us and let go of the things that are causing the trouble. Now, I know you've heard this before, and it's probably easier said than done. So I'm going to give you a couple of tools to help you Make those decisions and decide what really matters to you and what's going to get done and what's going to get missed intentionally, and not because it just slid through and then you're beating yourself up for not getting the things done. Imagine you're going to a restaurant with a friend, and this is one of your favorite restaurants. You can't wait to go there. You've had so many things on the menu already that you know that you love. You'd love to have them again. Then there's some new things that are maybe on a specialty menu that you'd like to try the new things. There's a lot of things that you'd like to try, but in this setting, in this dinner with your friend, there's only so many things you can pick from and still have an enjoyable evening. You might pick an old favorite for a meal and then pick something new for an appetizer. You might pick a dessert to take home and enjoy later. You might have a special new drink with your dinner. These are all things that you're going to pick from, and then you'll gratefully leave everything else behind, knowing that you might come back and try them again later, but it doesn't matter as long as you've enjoyed this meal. I'd like you to approach the holiday season in the same way. Or I'd like to invite you to think about approaching the holiday season in this same way, considering it like a menu. You don't have to order everything. You just order the things that are going to give you the best experience for that moment. Remembering that in December, you're not going to get any bonus time. There's no more than 24 hours in a day, just like before. And you're not going to get any more days in the week. Unfortunately, we don't get an extra day in the weekend unless you've saved up your time off and you're cutting out early on Fridays to get stuff done. Nothing wrong with that. I have done that myself in the past. But consider that the time you have is all that you have, and be picky about how you're going to use that time. For me, I had a friend in the neighborhood who had an annual cookie party. She spent weeks creating all different types of cookies and treats. And then the day of the event or the evening of the event, it was usually snowy and cold outside, and everyone came into her nice warm house full of people and treats and hot chocolate and lots of cookies and goodies and lots of kids running around and having fun and adults visiting and chatting and enjoying each other's company. One of the years that I went, I looked down and saw my children sitting on the couch next to someone else's children looking at their phones. They weren't doing anything. They weren't enjoying the cookies. They were just kind of biding time until their mom's ready to leave. And then I realized I was just eating a whole lot of sugar that I didn't really want. There were a lot of people there, so it was really hard to have any meaningful conversation with anyone. And I decided this really wasn't filling up my bucket for Christmas. And the next year, I made the choice not to go. Now, I was still really grateful that she invited me to feel like I was part of her friend group and part of the crowd. But for me, this was something I chose to let go of, and I felt good about. It gave me more time for the things that were more meaningful to me, like spending time with my family or children, or decorating, or shopping, or just snuggling up with my husband, watching a fun Christmas movie that I could talk him into. So here's two different principles I want you to remember when you're trying to make a choice and going through your menu of things that you want to do during the Christmas season that are going to help fill you up, help you show up better in your business and better in your life, because we're talking about a full balanced life here. The first thing I want you to remember is that relationships are important, but they shouldn't cost you more than you have to give. Think about all of the people that you want to remember. We try to remember everybody in our whole entire life, and we come back down to Christmas and try to hit everyone. Every old friend that you had, every family member, all of your coworkers, all of your employees, all of your customers. We want to remember everybody. We want to attend all of the parties that we're invited to out of obligation or out of feeling like you're afraid that you're going to make someone feel bad if you don't show up to their party. But if showing up to those extra parties or doing all those extra things are leading you to feeling burnout, you're not going to show up as that real, true friend, someone who they enjoy being with, who you enjoy being with them, if you're feeling like it's just out of obligation and it's really too much for you. So make sure that as you're picking what you're going to do, whether it's what event you're going to attend or who's going to get a Christmas card or who's going to get a present or a visit or whatever it might be at Christmas time, make sure that it's something that is meaningful to you, that you can make sure that you show up authentically as yourself because you truly want to be there. You want to do this thing for that other person, and then it's going to be real. And if you have to step away and not attend, there's a way to do that while still honoring the friendship. When someone invites you to come to some event and you just can't fit one more thing in, or it isn't on the top of your things that is going to be meaningful to you, I invite you to turn them down gently and politely. You can say, "Thank you for inviting me. I'm so glad that you thought of me to come to this event. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'm really grateful that you invited me, and I'm really grateful for our friendship. Thank you so much." That should be enough. Something similar to that, so that you're honoring the fact that you're glad that that person invited you, because you probably are. Nobody wants to not be invited, even if we don't want to go. We can let them know that we value the friendship and we value that they thought about us. Now, the second principle I want you to think about is to choose joy, not pressure. When you're thinking about the cards that you need to write, or the gifts that you're going to buy and purchase or send out, or traditions that you want to keep up that you've done over the years, decide which of these things truly brings you joy. Which of these things are you looking forward to and you want to just jump all in and do? This year, I visited my sister for Thanksgiving, and she actually recently bought a new house. So I was helping her do some packing. And for Thanksgiving, she usually goes all out. And she has beautiful table decorations and these fun charcuterie boards that we have for appetizers. It's just beautiful. I can't even explain it because I'm not the interior decorator that she is. She does just amazing things. But this year, most of the people couldn't come. There was just a few people there, and we chose to keep it really simple. She asked everyone, "What's your favorite food that you want to make sure that we have for Thanksgiving?" Okay, we will do that, and we're going to leave out everything else. If it's not your favorite, you don't want it, we're leaving it out. And we sat around an undecorated table, and we enjoyed each other's company and just talked and enjoyed the people without the extra pressure of all the fancy stuff. For us, that was the perfect Thanksgiving holiday. And our Christmases can be the same way if we choose the things that bring us joy and not things that cause just extra pressure. So how do you decide what those things are going to be? Here's what I invite you to do. You're going to make a peace and connection list. This list is going to be the things that bring you peace and help you feel connected to the people that are important to you that you really want to connect to. Make a list of, and this doesn't have to be a fancy formal list, keep it really simple, a list of the things that you like to do, or you traditionally have done, or you've been wanting to do this Christmas season. And when I say Christmas season, if you celebrate Hanukkah or anything else, whatever holiday season you're celebrating, make a list of the things that you have thought about doing, wanted to do, have done in the past, and then take a look at that list. If anything on that list, any one line item on that list gives you some hesitation, or you're not sure about, or you start to feel that little in your stomach that just feels like, oh, I'm not sure I want to do that, or it gives you a little bit of stress, just cross it out. Crossing it out doesn't mean you absolutely won't do it. It means you don't have to do it. Just cross that thing out and only consider the things that are left that bring you joy, that bring you a sense of peace, a sense of connection to the season and to the people that you love. And keep those things to be the things that you choose to do. Once you're relaxed and you've taken the pressure off of not having to do all of the other things, you might find yourself wanting to do some of those other things, but you'll do them because you want to and not because you feel pressured to do them. And if the thought of making a list or sitting down in the process of making a list of things to do simply stresses you out, then don't do that. Just think of one thing. What is one thing that is really important to you that will fill you up during the season, that will make you happy and make you feel like things are taken care of? and just plan to do that one thing. And then if the other stuff gets fit in, that's great. It'll come when you feel like doing it and not because you're forcing yourself to do it. And then when you show up at work, we'll come back to how this associates to work. When you show up in your business and you're not stressed out from everything that needs to be done outside of your business, at home, for Christmas, maybe even in your business for Christmas or for the holidays, when you're not stressed out about it, you're able to release that part of your brain that has more creativity, that has the organizational abilities, that has the problem-solving abilities. That gets released when you are feeling relaxed at home and comfortable in your space, in your office, in your work, in your home. Being relaxed actually helps you to get more accomplished than when you start to feel rushed and busied and hurry, hurry, hurry. Hurry, hurry, hurry is a trick. Your brain thinks that if you feel hurried, you're actually going to get more accomplished, but you're actually going to start feeling more frustrated, make mistakes, and have to go back and fix them. So finding ways to be relaxed, trusting yourself that you do know how to take care of the things that are the most important, but relaxing and trusting yourself is the best way to get in touch with your inner intuition to get the right things done at the right time. So for just a quick recap, we want to invite you to look at this holiday as though it is a menu of things that you get to choose from, not things that you have to do. It's not a to-do list, it's a menu of fun things. Remember to be really honest about the time that you have. You don't have extra time, but you do have the time that you have. Let go of the things that you might be doing on a regular basis that might be time wasters that you're willing to let go, so that you can fit in some of the fun and exciting things of the season. And then I invite you to lovingly release the things that are not serving you and say no to the people who have invited you to things that are friends, but that's just more than you can handle. Be gracious with the people that you love and let them know that this is what I can do, and make sure that you are expressing to them your gratitude for their friendship or their business or their loyalty or whatever it is for this person in your life. And then you're able to show up the way that is true to you, and then you give yourself some breathing room during the season so that you can enjoy this time that you have. I invite you to have a beautiful holiday season in whatever way you choose to celebrate it. Remember to breathe, relax, and enjoy the time that you have. Take care.